This week I was inspired by GANNI, and today I'm going to try to make a GANNI inspired blouse using a leftover gingham fabric that I found in my fabric stash. I like this design so much that I even made a dress using the same steps as the top. Today's tutorial does not require any patterns and it's super easy and beginner friendly. I really hope that you guys will enjoy it, and let's get started. Okay, so we're starting off with taking some measurements, and I'm measuring around my waist because I want the smock to be very form-fitting around my waist, but you can also take your measurement around your bust. Then you're going to add it by 2. This is going to be the width of the fabric that we're cutting out. So take your measurement and add it by 2, and then measure and then cut a rectangle, and the length depends on how long you want the top to be. Then we're going to take this part away for a little bit, and we're going to cut out the sleeves. I'm just using my basic pattern that I drafted myself, and you can just cut out any sleeve that you have, divide it in half, and then you're going to spread it open. The more you spread it, the wider or bigger puff you will get on your sleeve. I had to sew different pieces together to make one large sleeve because I didn't have enough fabric. So I just used my scraps, and I had to sew them in the middle and in the side to make a wide enough sleeve. Once you've cut out 2 sleeves, in my case just a lot of pieces, and I'm going to sew them together, you are going to change the thread to your overlock matching to the color of your fabric, and then you're going to overlock the long part of the rectangle, and you're also going to overlock the side of the sleeves. Once you've overlocked the long end on the fabric, you're going to fold it 1 time and sew a stitch just about 1 centimeter hem. Next, we're going to grab the elastic thread, and we're going to feed our bobbin with the thread, and you need to tighten it a tiny bit, but not a lot. And this is something you need to try a few times before you get the hang on how tight you need the bobbin to be. And then you can do a test sewing to see how it gathers. You need to change the setting on your machine to loose setting and large stitch to make it work. And then you're just going to sew parallel stitches along the top of the rectangle, and how far down you want it to go depends on the design you want it to have. I ended up sewing so that it was all the way down to my waist. Then I closed up the back seam, and then I did serged the hem afterwards. Next, I cut out a long strip of fabric and I sewed it along the top part of the sleeve. Then I ironed it, and then I folded it over and sewed a stitch to keep it in place. And this created a casing for feeding an elastic on later. It's about 1.5 centimeter wide. It will work better if you use fabric cut on the bias, but I just wanted to be quick, so I didn't do that. But it worked fine. So then I am feeding the elastic that measures the same width as the tube, and I'm feeding it through the tube that I just made. And then I am going to close up the end so that the elastic doesn't go through the opening. Then I did the same thing on the other sleeve, and next you can try on your top, and then you're going to place the sleeves where you want it, and just pin it in place. Do that on the front and then on the back. Once you're happy with the placement of the sleeves, we are going to add a little piece of fabric underneath the armhole. So we're going to stretch the fabric a little bit, and we're going to cut out a piece that matches the amount of stretch and the width of the opening on the sleeves. Then I'm just going to match it up with the sides seams of the sleeve, and I'm going to serge it together on both sides. I'm also serging the top part of that fabric that I just sewed on. Next, I'm matching up the sleeve with where I placed it in the first place, and I do the same thing on the back. And then I'm stretching this underside as I am sewing on the extra fabric that we just attached. It's a little bit complicated to explain it, but I hope that you understand when you watch me do it. Do this on both sides of the sleeves and then sew it together with the machine. Once the sleeves are attached, I did a rolled hem with my serger at the bottom of the sleeves. And I folded the bottom of the top 2 times, about 1 centimeter. And then I sewed 2 rows of elastic stitches along the bottom of the sleeves, leaving a little ruffle at the end so that it has a nice detail. And that's it. That's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. You can make so many different pieces out of this tutorial. You can make long dresses, short dresses. You can add a ruffle cape at the bottom, long sleeves or short sleeves, or no puffed sleeves at all. You can just have straps with ties. It would be super pretty. There are so many possibilities. Don't forget to check out my last video where I show you my top 10 dresses and ranking them from bottom to top. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. I put out new videos every Friday, and I will talk to you guys next Friday. Bye!